Hey YouTubers, today we're doing some minor repairs. I'll just give you a quick overview of the project. You can see I've done some spackling. That's just some regular nail holes, screw holes or what have you. But you can see that there's been some water damage. It's destroyed the tape between the wall and the ceiling. And it's also lifted the paint, so we have quite a large area to patch there. So this is where we're going to use our compound. And again, you can see more spackled areas, and then here's a damaged spot, and you can see that there's the metal corner bead, and the water has caused the mud to get all loosened up in that area. It's a little bit too big to use spackle, I think, so we're going to use the compound in there as well. And then as we go further along, you can see more spots that I've already used a regular spackle on. And then there's another water damaged spot, and that crack in there. So I'll show you how we go about doing these minor repairs, but a little bit bigger than perhaps we might usually find. So the first thing we want to do is we got to shore up this big gap in here. You can see the whole chunk of tape has been damaged, and we've removed that, so we're going to have to replace that. This is a perfect place to use our fiber tape. You've probably heard me mention before that I'm not a huge fan, but this is the one place where I'm okay with it. So I have a small roll here, and we're just going to fit that in basically where the old tape was, roughly. And I use this so rarely that the sticky backing on it isn't really holding out very well. So I may have to go to a plan B. No, that's it. I think it's going to hold for me long enough to do this, or not. So that's not going to hold, so what I'll do is I'll put in some of our compound, fill up that gap. And the thing about this mixed compound is it doesn't shrink back as badly, and it will dry regardless of whether it's damp or cold. If there's a draft coming in the space, because it's a chemical dry. I guess that's why some call it a hot mix. There's an internal heat, if you will, about it that cures it. So now we got a bit of compound on there. We'll take our fiber tape and we'll press that in, just like we might the paper tape. Make sure it's about evenly spaced between the two surfaces. Then we can go about getting a mud coat on that fiber tape. Push it in there. Do the same on the top, give it a little extra mud, and then glue it in. Now this is a textured ceiling, so what I'm going to do is just pat and make sure the tape is buried. And just pat my potting knife on there. Give it a little bit of texture. And then this side we want to smooth it. Then we can work our way down. What we want to do is run our mud down the edge where the paint stopped peeling away. There. And then we can run down the middle. Fill in those holes and cracks that were created. And then we just want to gently come back. And we want to let that dry, and that'll be our first coat. And then we have our really rough area here where this metal strip was. So we're not gonna put the fiber tape in there because there's no real join to speak of. So we just want to build that up, basically fill it right up. And as I said, the beauty of this hot mix, or this powder compound, is that it doesn't shrink back too much. So we smooth it out, maybe leave a little bit of a build up on it, if we can. And then, if it does shrink back, we just top it up with either the spackle, or we might have to mix up another small batch of this mud. And we just have to top it up. Oh, before you go, I just thought I'd give you a quick overview of how the project looks after one coat of paint and primer. You can see where those big ugly patches were and the gaps between the ceiling and the wall have disappeared. And again, the water damage that was on the verticals there beside the patio doors gone. And as we move across, again you can see those bad water damaged areas have been patched up quite nicely.